Hey everyone, it's Ian Cantle here with your Marketing Guides for Small Business podcast, and I'm joined by Ken and Paul, and Jeff is here in absentia, but he recorded some responses so that he could share some insights related to our topic today. And I'm excited about this topic. It's one of those topics that I don't think gets a lot of fanfare, but I think it's really important, especially for small businesses, because there's a lot of opportunity there. And that is, how can you leverage YouTube for small business marketing? It's a great topic. I think it has the potential to help every small business that's listening today or watching. And it will help you better understand why YouTube is an important channel to consider, how to leverage it, and even how to measure success. So let's jump in. And my first question is actually for Jeff, who's invisible today. But we will have his recording, and it's, why should small businesses consider using YouTube as a marketing tool?
Yeah, I think there's several reasons why small businesses should consider using YouTube as a marketing tool. First of all, YouTube has very vast reach. I can't imagine not, ever being on YouTube, finding somebody that's never been on YouTube. It has over 2 billion users worldwide, so that's a huge potential audience. And it's also, in its own right, a very powerful search engine, especially generationally. The younger audience tends to go to YouTube for search, even sometimes before they go to, say, Google for search. But YouTube is actually owned by Google. So Google is then the number 1 and number 2 search engines. So videos will rank very well in search results on Google, but even, as I said, within YouTube, it's possible to do searches. A lot of people will go look for how-to videos, for instance. So look for informational videos and, to a certain extent, entertainment type videos. So having a variety of content out on YouTube and leveraging it, especially if your ideal clients, if your target market is on YouTube, can be very, very powerful. It's also cost effective. It's essentially free to use the platform, right? You have to establish a user ID on it first. Of course, if you have a Google account for any other Google tools, which you should for your business, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, etc., then you'll have a Google account, and you can get on the YouTube platform and put content up and link to it from wherever you want, link to it from your social, link to it from your website, embed a video player into your website. It's a no-cost platform. Of course, it does come with some of the trappings of YouTube. It's going to show related videos. It's going to show other content and maybe divert traffic away from where you really want. But if you're on a budget and if you're trying to get video content up, it's a great option. There's also really good engagement on YouTube. YouTube videos can be engaging and a personal connection with customers. You're essentially kind of like right now, I'm on the road, so I'm recording this in advance. I'm speaking to you as if I was there, as if I was in the studio. And you can do the same thing as a business owner when you're trying to connect with your target audience. You can look them in the face, you can talk to them, and you can use all the mannerisms and expressions that you would. In fact, you should. You don't want to be just a talking head scripted, animated explainer video. You want your personality to come through and your uniqueness. So again, video can be very engaging. And then there's long-term value with being on YouTube. Videos will be there indefinitely. You've got to intentionally go take them off. It's not like they're going to time out or they're going to expire. So they've got long-term visibility, and as people view them, you can get some analytics and metrics back. I think we're going to talk about that later. But other people can, help you grow your reach, just like any other social media platform. YouTube is, in essence, a form of social media because you can have comments and discussions on the videos as well. So I think there's a lot of reasons to use YouTube as a marketing tool. Long form, short form. The YouTube shorts are, catching on. They're becoming more and more popular. They were added to compete with some of the social media types of things, for instance, Facebook Reels. But YouTube shorts on YouTube are a very effective way as well for shorter form content. And you really want to take advantage of it. We talk about omni-channel marketing. It's being everywhere that your target audience is. And if your target audience is on YouTube, you absolutely need to be there. Even if they aren't, you can use it as a platform to embed content and then repurpose it and put it other places, for instance, embedded player on your website. Now your website has video content. Most website hosts won't host video content directly because of the bandwidth requirements. So you almost have to use one of the video services in embedded player. So yeah, definitely YouTube, for whatever reason, you're going to be there. It shouldn't be ignored.
That's awesome. And just to kind of take a step back too, this is implied in our conversation today. But the volume of video watching has just continued to balloon and grow over time. It's now a super popular form of content consumption by people all over the world, but specifically in North America. And the average person actually watches 17 hours of video a week. And so if you weren't sure if you should be investing in video, that's certainly a contributing factor you might want to consider. Any other thoughts on that particular question, guys, about why small businesses should consider YouTube?
I think Jeff covered it pretty well. I think we're going to get into some more details on different nuances and whatnot as we go through. But as an overview on why you should be on there as a marketing tool, yeah, I think he nailed it.
Yeah. The one thing that occurred to me that wasn't said, he talked about YouTube being a search engine. The interesting thing is, because Google owns YouTube, Google pulls in a lot of video content into search engine results on the Google platform as well. So when somebody's doing a generic search on Google, you'll see that there's video results there. And so when you can populate YouTube and make that connection with your website and whatnot, it will definitely help your business as well.
Yeah.
So Ken, my second question was for you. So we now understand that YouTube's a worthwhile channel to be on for all of the reasons that Jeff talked about. How can a small business get started on YouTube?
Well, just like a lot of things, almost everything we talk about, you really have to think about who your potential audience is going to be. So, you've got to really focus on what are they going to be interested in seeing, and really kind of think through that strategy. We know that there are some common things people want to see. And Paul will get into this more in terms of what types of content people are looking for. But you definitely want to think about who is going to be out there potentially consuming your content. Not only customers and brand champions, but also people who are looking for your products or services. So definitely spend some time on that. Having a content strategy, just like, writing blog posts or anything else or social media, is also really important. Again, because you want to provide content that's going to be interesting and relevant to your target audiences. The whole virality thing is a challenge. I mean, nobody ever really knows what's going to go viral. There are absolutely things that you can do to help nudge that along. Not going to get into that right now because that's a little bit beyond this, my particular topic here. But you definitely want to think about the content that you want to have. Regular posting is, I think, an essential element of, if you're going to build a YouTube channel, first of all, claim your channel name. Make it easy for people to find you. It's an @ handle, just like you can have on Instagram or X or Facebook for that matter. So you definitely want to do that. But as you're creating your content and you're putting it out there, you want to definitely think about, can you repurpose content from other sources you've already created? Is there video that you shot that actually was used to help you with, execute on a project? If you're a home remodeling contractor, maybe you took some drone footage, or a roofer, for example. If, you took some drone footage just to get a better view of what the roof looked like, well, you can take that and use that video as B-roll and create really great videos. You don't have to have super expensive equipment. Every video doesn't have to be super high quality produced. Because I think people, I mean, you don't want it to be bad because, and distracting in any way. So you want to make sure lighting's good, sound quality's good, all of those kinds of things. But you definitely want to think about what do you want to be creating, and a content repurposing strategy, creating videos that you put on YouTube from your blog posts, highlighting key aspects of what you said in that blog post, I think is great. You definitely want to have content that, is going to get people to continue to watch the video. So it has to be engaging. You have to think about, that's why it's important to think about who your audience is. You can't just stick it on YouTube and hope that people are going to find it. So you have to do some promotion of it, through social media, putting it on your website, driving people through email or text marketing. As an example, you could create a great intro video explaining why your business is different, put it on YouTube or put it on a page on your website. In your email signature, you could have a link directly to say, watch this video to see why our company's different. And now in your email signature, you're driving traffic there. Or creating, I hate to use this phrase because it's not always, it's not accurate, but it's a style of a page called a Linktree page. A Linktree page is kind of that one resource page that people would create, started with Instagram because Instagram gave you only a single link that you could have hooked to your profile. But it's really a great idea to have this kind of a page. I kind of refer to it as an expert page. On my business card, I've got a digital business card. I want to send people to this page where I some of the most essential articles that I've done, links to this podcast. I've been working on creating a video to explain, why we're different. All of those are going to be linked to from that page. So you definitely want to take advantage of things like that. You can't just stick it up there and hope that it's going to be seen. I think a lot of people think, well, I'm doing all this work, and it's like, well, yeah, but you're not amplifying it, which is, the critical thing. I had to get that word in, Ian.
Good job.
So, make sure you claim your channel name. Think about whether or not you want to create playlists based on topic. Playlists could be organized by the type of project or the product or the service that you offer, by the topic that you're covering, but again, it requires a little bit of forethought to be able to do that. Experiment with YouTube lives. That's maybe one of the easier ways to get started is to just do a YouTube live. Or if you're not comfortable, shoot some video on your phone, watch it, make sure you're happy with it. If you're happy with it, upload it to YouTube. And now you've got a video. So, Jeff mentioned YouTube Shorts. So YouTube Shorts is, it's certainly getting some visibility on YouTube searches. So if people are opening up YouTube and looking for a topic, which is very common, then YouTube Shorts now has kind of a featured position on that initial opening page when you launch your YouTube in your browser to start your search. Don't ignore the basic branding features of your channel. Have a cover photo that's right-sized for YouTube. It's a little bit of a challenge. YouTube's different than all of the other social media platforms in terms of the dimensions. So just look them up and make sure that when you design a cover, that it works, whether it's, portrait orientation on a phone or whether it's landscape orientation on a desktop, for example. And then take advantage. I mean, this is an advanced thing, so it's not just a getting started thing, but don't ignore, and I think Jeff talks about this more, the power of what YouTube gives you in terms of annotations, where you can link out and have calls to action or link to other related videos or to sign up pages for people to join your email or text list or watch additional videos. Don't miss that. Don't forget about the end cards that you can add to the videos too. It's extra work, and then, whenever you put a video on there, you got to think about, and again, I think I don't want to get a whole lot into this, but YouTube gives you places where you put extra information, title, description, tags. Those things, are there for a reason. So take advantage of them. And I don't want to steal anybody else's thunder.
No, you did a great job covering, how to get started on YouTube, Ken. One of the things I think that keeps a lot of small businesses traditionally away from this channel, and I would even say large businesses to some extent as well, is the burden of creating video, because video by far is the richest, most intensive form of content that as a business you can create. And so a lot of people, you talked a little bit about kind of wanting that high quality. But now people are a little more comfortable with more authentic type videos. But I would just say, like, just what you were talking about there, creating shorts or reels or just recording yourself doing something. Some of the actually, I won't say what I was about to say because Paul's going to talk about content in a second, but I would say just get started. Like, just set it in your mind. If you know that your audience is there and that it's going to benefit your business, create a sustainable plan so that you can start creating, whether it's one video a month, whether it's one video a week, one video a day, whatever it is, that's going to help you move forward. And your first videos may be not the best, and that's okay, but you're going to get better and you're going to get more comfortable doing this. And you can always enlist professionals to help you as well. So I don't think that huge burden of, I need vast amounts of money to do expertly produced videos is really, it doesn't need to be a barrier anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, just keep in mind sound quality, lighting. You don't want to have anything that's distracting. Pay attention to your background. This is probably in the best background. I probably should do a better job, but it does show some of the things. Oops, I've got a thumbs up somehow. Wow, look at that. So you just want to pay attention to those things. But, the camera that comes on your smartphone or the camera that's on most modern laptops or even, webcams is really strong quality, and it's good enough quality for YouTube type videos typically. And so, the key thing is just get started. I mean, you might want to experiment around with just playing around and having fun shooting some video. Maybe you probably shouldn't upload all of it, right? But you definitely want to, and YouTube gives you some nice little tools that you can use. But just, get started. And then, once you're comfortable getting on camera, or somebody in your company is going to be comfortable getting on camera. If not, that's okay, because you can produce so many great videos where you don't even have to have a live person. As Jeff mentioned, it's great because it gives you the ability to have facial expressions and have people feel like they're getting to know you and talking directly about the personality of your business. But not every video has to be that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of maybe a segue into Paul.
Yeah. And before I do, I just want to really echo you. I want people not to miss your one point, you or any of them, but you mentioned in there about the importance of audio quality. Studies have shown that even if your video is poor quality, if the audio is good, people will actually perceive your video as better quality. And it's just because the audio is so important. If you've ever watched a video or been on a Zoom call where, you might have the crispest visual, but if the audio is cutting in and out, that's the main communication part. It's the auditory part that you're pulling the information into your mind. So that part is so crucial. So focus on that. Get a good microphone. And that will help you tremendously.
Yeah. And when you're outside, realize wind messes with audio a lot. So you might need to invest in a little bit of a microphone if you're going to be shooting a lot of video outside using your smartphone camera.
Yeah. So Paul, what types of content are most effective for small businesses on YouTube?
Well, for the longest time, and it's still true, that the how-tos and tutorials, those are the most searched for and most watched videos. And there's a lot of things businesses can do with that. If you're a couple examples of, use this one a lot, but if you're an HVAC contractor, you are not going to make money going out and programming someone's thermostat. So you can do videos showing how to do that. And, if you're same thing, if you're a tuck pointing company, if you're a concrete company and someone just has a few places where the mortars, coming loose and they just need to fill that in. You're not going to make money doing that, but you can do a video showing them how to do it. You're not going to make money patching a crack in someone's sidewalk, but you can do video showing how to do those things, and that builds trust and goodwill. And when they do need something done, they're much more likely to contact you. Product demos and reviews. You should have definitely the reviews should be on your website, but product demos, how to use your products. Customer testimonials, again, those should be on your website, but yeah, definitely put those on YouTube as well. But one of these things, Q&A kind of things, we always tell people they should have facts on their websites and frequently ask questions and should ask questions. And you should put that on YouTube as well. Answer questions about your product or service, the most common questions you get. Put them on YouTube, put them on your website as well. But one thing I think a lot of businesses don't take advantage of is behind the scenes kind of thing. And if you're a business owner and you're kind of the face of the business, again, it should be on your website, but branding type of videos, put them on YouTube. But behind the scenes kind of thing, let's say you manufacture and install custom hot tubs, having videos taking people through that entire process. This is the manufacturing process. This is what goes into our product. This is everything we do to make sure that the quality is there. And then this is the process that we're going to go through when we install it. And here's what you need to do to prepare.
These are our people.
What's that?
These are our people.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And, a painting company, if you're doing interior painting, there's things that the homeowner needs to do, or exterior for that matter. There's things the homeowner needs to do to prepare. You can do a video with that. And again, these should all be on your website as well, but you're definitely going to get more reach putting them on YouTube. So I think those are some of the more common types of video. But unboxing videos, I don't know if the business should do that or if you have a friend do that, but the unboxing videos, you see them all the time. Hey, look, I got this, whatever it is, and here's a packaging, and the the packaging made sure that it didn't get harmed in transit, and here's what you get, and here's how you put it together, and here's how you use it. You see those a lot on YouTube, but I think those are some of the more common types of videos that a small business can use and take advantage of and help build brand awareness. Because that's the one thing, we're not really talking about this, but if you're advertising on YouTube, this is very top of the funnel. Okay. It's about brand awareness. It's not intent oriented like other ad platforms are.
That's great, Paul. Some other types of videos I think people should consider, and this is definitely growing in the trades. If you're a trades-based business and you do installation of anything, man, you got to be doing time lapse or before and after videos or walkthrough videos about features and benefits of something you just installed. We were recently doing some competitive intelligence for one of our clients, and we started looking at, it's not even a direct competitor of them. It's just a trade that is similar, that has just rocked the world with some of their social media. And what was interesting was the ones that were getting the most engagement, and of course there's stuff that bridges over between YouTube and social media. And that's why I'm sharing this, because it's equally relevant for YouTube. is their videos that got the most engagement were things like time lapse of them installing new staircases, because that's the type of business they are, or walkthroughs, or their team presenting like, this is what we're going to do today. There's another trade that I thought was quite interesting, which was a kitchen remodeling business. That's all they do. And what they would do is a video walkthrough every morning. Whichever team was on site would basically say, this is, hey, I'm John. This is my teammate, Mark and Doug. We're about to install this kitchen. Here we have it staged on the deck, ready to go. And we've got all of it organized. And here's the plan. And this is what our plan of attack is. And we'll have this finished by the end of the day. And then they post a video of them walking through the finished kitchen. And it's very powerful because, first of all, it's introducing the team. It's showing how organized they are. And then it's showing the finished product. So, and it's not complex and it's not highly refined. Like he's got a good microphone, a lapel mic that he's using. But other than that, he's using his smartphone and he's walking people through. The last type from mine, and Ken, you might have some other thoughts. A video you shouldn't ignore is recruiting videos. Since COVID happened, a lot of trades were really hungry for recruiting, right? There was just not enough people in the marketplace to serve their clients. And so recruiting has become more and more important for more small businesses, but it's always been important for larger businesses. So I think as you consider, how are we going to attract really great employees, you need to consider how you're going to use video in order to do that. Because first of all, we talked about why video is so important. It's highly consumed. It reduces barriers because you're creating an authentic connection face to face with someone, even though it's virtual, right? And then you're walking them through just why it's a great place to work, right? And sometimes those types of videos are fantastic. And then bridging from that, if you can get your team to do short videos about why they love working at your place of employment, again, you're just creating an atmosphere of contribution, collaboration, and other people are really attracted to that. So those are a few additional types of videos I think could be really important for small businesses.
Yeah, I've got a couple more. Offer videos.
Yep.
Most people, if they do run offers, they might stick them on social media. They forget to put them on their Google business profile and they forget to put them on YouTube. So creating offer videos is really important. Again, a lot of people who make buying decisions when they're using a variety of different tools, a good section of those people are ready to buy. So give them an offer and give them an incentive to make that happen right away. The other type of video that I think is really underutilized are reputation videos or testimonials.
Yeah.
Those are great because now you've got the words of your really satisfied customers, clients, or patients. And you have to be sensitive about whether or not you need video releases and all that kind of stuff. And, depending on HIPAA requirements and all that kind of stuff, or if you've got people under the age of 18, you need to worry about, consent and stuff like that. But a lot of people, you don't even need the live customer to create great reputation videos. There are really cool things that we do to create reputation videos. So those are two that I think are really almost always neglected. And I think they're great opportunities.
Yeah. One last one that occurred while you're sharing yours, Ken, was especially for dentists or medical centers or any place where you're physically entering an environment.
Oh yeah.
Like walkthrough videos.
Yeah.
Again, they're not highly complex. Obviously, you want the person recording them to have something that's going to stabilize the video so it's not bouncing along and stuff like that. But those types of videos are really valuable because again, it's all about bridging gaps. And if somebody is not a fan of going to the dentist or going to a doctor or whatever it is, and you can show them that it's an inviting atmosphere and that the people look friendly, you're reducing barriers right off. So those can be really valuable.
Yeah. I've even got a friend of mine that he does drone videos where he's approved to fly through buildings and do
Love it.
drone shoots for realtors, for, commercial offices. Yeah. So that's a great addition too.
That's awesome. So the next question is for our virtual guide, Jeff, and it's how can small businesses optimize their YouTube videos for better reach and engagement?
Yeah, so optimizing YouTube videos is very important for better reach and engagement. Of course, you can just upload the video, use YouTube as a hosting platform. But if you really want people to find your content through YouTube, if you want Google to find it and index it in the regular Google search results, then you've got to do a little bit of work to optimize it. And the good news is that's not terribly hard. First off, like any other SEO, use relevant keywords. Make sure you use the keywords in the titles, in the descriptions that you can post about the video. And then YouTube has the notion of tagging, so you can put keywords and tags or related keywords. All of these things are going to give Google and YouTube's own search engine hints about what your video is about. When somebody is looking for it, either on Google or on YouTube search, they're going to be much more likely to find it. You also probably want to take your video into a platform where you can extract a thumbnail out of it, a screenshot. YouTube on its own is going to give you 2 or 3 choices of frames somewhere in your video that you can use as a thumbnail, the little thing that shows before you actually start playing. They may not be the best. A lot of times they're frozen in mid-word, and you've got thumbnail expressions that look something like this. And that's just not a good look. So you want to do a little bit of work to create a thumbnail, make it compelling, put some graphics in it, just build a still image that you can upload and use as the thumbnail. Something that gets more attention is going to, of course, draw more traffic and increase your click-through rates. Definitely make sure in your videos that you engage in the first few seconds. You need to hook viewers quickly and keep them watching. If you've got a long video, and I'd say that most marketing videos on YouTube shouldn't be too long, but if you've got a long video especially, people aren't going to watch it unless they get really interested in it. And if they see the counter says it's 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, they may just skip on by. But if in that first 6 seconds, let's say, you can grab their interest, so much the better. And here's another tip: make sure that you have some kind of captioning on the video, because a lot of people will start with sound off. So they're just looking for text overlays on the video. They're looking for something that they can read to get their interest before they turn sound on and decide to watch. Now, on the topic of text captioning, there's also the ability to upload a transcript of your video, or YouTube may even transcribe it for you. But if you have the transcripts and you turn closed captioning on, now you can get in the situation where your video has captioning in the video, and then YouTube is overlaying closed captioning on top of that, and that's not a great look. So you kind of have to think about how you're going to work that. Of course, closed captioning is a choice. So if it's off by default and you have captioning on your videos, that's fine. But make sure you caption all the way through then. You don't want, people have to get confused and mix and match how they caption. You can use annotations on the videos and calls to action. You can split videos up into segments. If you look at the play bar, you'll often see segments and the title of what the segment's all about. So use those annotations in there. Put the calls to action in that will pop things up in the corner, suggesting that somebody link out to your website, links out to a social media post or something. But what you want to do is give people something to do, right? Marketing is always about moving people to take action. So encourage viewers of your videos to take some action. You have the ones that they can do on YouTube itself. They can subscribe and they can follow. Following the channel is even better than, well, that is subscribing. Sorry, they can like the video, I meant to say, or they can subscribe, which equals following the channel. And a subscriber is better than just a like, because a subscriber will be notified when you publish new content. But either way, you want to get subscribes and you want to get likes, so that helps your visibility of your content more. And then finally, analyze performance. You can use the analytics that YouTube provides to understand what works in your videos and refine your strategy. And one of the things you'll want to look at is how deep into your video people get. Not everyone's going to watch the whole thing. And if you have a high drop off rate, in the first 10% of your video, that's a hint that maybe you need to look at what your video is all about and rework it or do something a little bit differently. So like everything else, all the extra bells and whistles take a little bit of extra effort, but they are well worth it. And I highly recommend that you take the time to optimize your YouTube videos because you want better reach and better engagement. And that comes from taking advantage of all those bells and whistles.
Yeah, those are great points. And I would just let our listeners know that, there are apps out there that are like Chrome extensions, that kind of stuff, and standalone apps that will help you actually monitor your videos and optimize them. So they make it a little bit easier for you to do that. Most of them are paid to some extent if you want more features. But the ones that come to mind are Tubix, TubeBuddy. There's a bunch of others out there, but if you have a bunch of videos and you want to make sure that you're optimizing them to the max, just search for YouTube video optimization or YouTube SEO optimization apps, and you will find that there's lots out there, and most of them are very good at helping walk you through, making it easy for you to optimize your videos. Because again, just what Jeff was saying there was that if you just upload your video, it's better than not. But if you don't optimize it, you're not sending Google all the signals related to the content of your video to help people find the video. So obviously, if people can find the video, it's much better than if they can't find the video. And I think this leads really nicely into the question for you, Paul. So how can small businesses measure the success of their YouTube strategy? Jeff talked a little bit about how YouTube offers some data analysis, but can you dive more into so what does success look like for YouTube videos, and how can you create a successful strategy and measure it?
Well, success, I guess, is how you define success for your YouTube strategy. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. What are you trying to get out of your YouTube strategy? And Jeff did talk about a few of these things like view count, but something he said is watch time. Where are they dropping off? And a lot of times, maybe it's nothing wrong with the video itself. Maybe your video is just too long. Maybe if you have a 20-minute video and people are dropping off halfway through, maybe you split that up into 2 videos. Any engagement metrics, likes, comments, audience interaction, things like that. And how many people are taking a desired action? And I kind of struggle with this because I've never clicked on anything from a YouTube video. If I go to YouTube and I search for something, I find a video that answers my question, like the how-to or just information. I've never clicked on anything from a video. I guess I'm sure people do. Well, obviously they do. But if that's something you're wanting them to do, then obviously you want to track that. You want to know, okay, if I want them to subscribe to my channel, if I want them to subscribe to my newsletter, go to my website, are they doing those things? And then subscriber growth. I think this can be tricky actually, because hey, it's great if you have a big subscriber base, but if you're a small local business, if you're a service area business and you only do business in your area, is it important to have a bunch of subscribers 800 miles away? Does that matter? And that goes back to what is your goal for your YouTube channel? If you just want a big subscriber base, then that's great. But if your goal is to drive conversions and get leads, then you need your subscriber base to be local. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but
sure it does. Yeah.
But I think those are some more important things. But yeah, like I said earlier, that this is top of the funnel, no matter whether it's advertising or just engagement with your brand. It's very top of the funnel, because a lot of times the first time people find you may be on your YouTube channel. It's like Google Ads. A lot of times, especially if you're a new company, that may be the first interaction or the first time they notice your business. And so they're probably not going to convert right away, but that doesn't mean they're not going to check out your business, especially if they find your video by searching, there's a reason they did that. So it can be great for brand awareness. I know that's not.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that, Paul. I actually would argue that point. I think you're absolutely right that for people searching on YouTube itself, it is a top of the funnel type activity. But where I think YouTube videos can fit anywhere in your funnel, from discovery right to retaining good customers, is that you can embed your YouTube videos on your website and in your your nurture campaigns and stuff like that. And those are the ones that I think that are highly specific, that will help move people through. And I know you wouldn't argue that point. I just want to make that clear to our viewers that, because you create a YouTube video, you can use it in multiple different ways, and you're not stuck just to be found on the search engine. You can leverage it in so many different ways. One additional metric, I think, of success that can be really important is if you can put in some form of attribution. So, meaning if you can attribute video watches and ultimate actions people take. So if you embed a video on your website, they watch it, it's got a form on that page, and people came from YouTube, and you're able to attribute that lead from YouTube. I always point people back to, the more attribution you're able to track, the better it is for you, because that's how you know where people are coming from. Because again, people might be searching for a roofer on YouTube, on Google, but because Google is showing videos from roofers, they could actually end up coming to your website through that form of search. So lots of opportunities there, I think. But I really like how you brought us back to the comment about strategy. You should know why you're creating these videos, right? You don't want to just be creating content for content's sake. You want to have a strategic purpose in it, because anytime you're investing time, energy, money into something, from a marketing perspective, you should be able to have an idea of, here's what my end goal of this investment is, so that I can track a return on investment. Any other thoughts on that, Ken or Paul?
Well, I was going to say that, yeah, I agree. The video should be on your website, but yeah, you can have videos for different stages of the buyer journey, and not just that, but after the buyer journey, like depending on what your product or service is, after they make a purchase, you can send them a thank you email or whatever with a link to a video on how to best take advantage of this. I know a lot of companies do this. I think a long time ago, a while back in a podcast, we were talking about my sister had bought a KitchenAid stand mixer, and after she bought it, they started sending her emails about, it's not just a mixer. Here's all these different recipes, different attachments, different things you can do, and it's actually a good strategy, and any business can do that.
Yeah, onboarding, things to keep returns down if it's really product driven, by showing people additional uses or ease of use, or to make it easier to use. I think those are all great. So
yeah, in the dental world, we use them for post-treatment videos to walk people through what to watch for, right? The doctor, the dentist, is going to be talking about that in the actual treatment. But like all of us, when we're in a highly stressful situation, like most medical type things are, we don't remember half the stuff we've been told. And so that's why it's helpful to have somebody with you, or these treatment videos are exceptionally good at just, oh, that's what he said. And, fantastic. I wanted to dig in a little bit deeper if you guys are open to it, but are there other types of things when you think about, YouTube for small businesses? Are there things that you've seen that have worked really well, minefields to avoid, or even just other topics you want to make sure we fit into this this topic for today?
I'll start if that's okay.
Sure.
I think a lot of people forget about YouTube. Especially maybe more generationally, maybe, but a lot of people who've grown up with social media, if they're doing video content at all, it's TikTok, it's Facebook, it's Instagram. They're forgetting about YouTube. And those platforms can be great, and it's again, I love omni-channel, but YouTube is owned by Google, and YouTube is the second largest searched site on the internet. So if you're not putting your content that you've already got video content, maybe it's vertical. Okay, if it's vertical, does it fit for a YouTube short? If it's vertical, can you use a content repurposing tool to turn that into a nice looking landscape oriented video? Just don't forget about YouTube. It's huge. And I think a lot of people, way too many small businesses think if they're going to be creating content, all they need to do is put it on social media and they're golden. And if that's you, good for you. Congratulations. You're one of the very few. So you should be really proud of how that's working for you. But for most small businesses, and especially professional services businesses, most service area businesses, if there's video that's being produced, it's not put on YouTube. And that's a huge miss. And like we said, there are so many ways that you can create video. You don't even need a camera to take and create a video for YouTube. There are all kinds of video styles that are out there that are great. You can have spokespeople. AI has come along to where it automatically generates videos from blog posts, for example, that in many cases are pretty darn good. Make sure you just use them. Video's huge, and it's probably seriously underutilized by most small businesses.
Great points. Anything from you, Paul?
No, I guess the only thing I'd add is Ken kind of touched on it, that people forget about YouTube, but we see this a lot with small businesses that they've been in business for a long time. They've done things a certain way, and they don't stop and realize that their customer base has changed and it's gotten younger, and they interact with businesses in a different way. And I think sometimes, and like I said, it's usually someone that's been in business for a long time, and they don't stop and think that their customers today are different than their customers of 15 years ago. And they find information differently, they consume information differently, and they interact with businesses differently. So, and I think when it comes to some of the, YouTube, TikTok, God forbid, Facebook, whatever it is, we have to keep that in mind. Although Facebook's been around for a week or two now, but so I think most people are comfortable with that. But yeah, just keep in mind that your customers and potential customers, if you've been in business for a long time, they interact differently, and YouTube is part of that.
I think a lot of people think that YouTube's just, cute cat videos, and
That's
They are good.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And it's like, sure, there's a lot of that, and you need to be careful when you're using YouTube embeds on your website to where, you don't make it easy for people to go get distracted and go watch those cat videos and never come back to your website. So, but putting the content on YouTube, even if you're not using YouTube's embedded player on your website and you're using another video hosting platform, Wistia, Vimeo, places like that, you still need to get that content on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to mention that earlier, and I decided not to. But if you're going to invest in a video strategy, it's probably a good idea to get something like Vimeo or Wistia and use that to put the videos on your website. Because like Ken just said, if you just embed the YouTube video, then they always show these related videos, which can be your competitors. And it's real easy for people to click off of your website and go to YouTube, and who knows what they're going to do then. But if you're using something like Wistia, Vimeo, whatever you're using, yeah, that costs a little bit of money, but people can't click. Well, it's not they can. It's the chance of them clicking off that video and winding up on YouTube is slim.
Yeah, one of the things that came to mind as you were talking there, Ken, is that just like we talk about repurposing content all the time from a content marketing strategy, people should be thinking about that too. Like if you're creating video content, and there are ways to repurpose your video content across multiple channels that are quite easy now. You want to explore that, because if you can be on YouTube, if you can be on TikTok, if you can be on Instagram and Facebook, like why wouldn't you be, right? It's just, you're putting the effort into creating content. Why not show on multiple platforms?
Yeah.
And just a comment about TikTok, it gets slagged a fair bit on our podcast, and that's only because we have watched a lot of platforms and channels where they get lots and lots of buzz and then they peter out. TikTok isn't one of those. We're finding that more and more we talk about kind of the next generation being really involved in TikTok. TikTok is becoming a search engine for a younger generation. And so it's something to keep in mind as we move forward, that TikTok is a platform that you might want to consider. But again, it should all lead back up to your strategy. And in that strategy, who are your ideal clients, customers that you're trying to target, or audience? Because you want to make sure that you're not on a wrong channel, that you're on a channel that's actually going to benefit you and benefit the people trying to find information from you.
Well, I slag TikTok because I don't trust China. Hey,
well, and
you
this is
you don't know what information they're collecting, who they're selling it to, what they're doing with it, and they're not exactly transparent.
I don't disagree. The challenge is that the users are the one that generate the demand, right? So I don't disagree that organizations need to consider that in their decision set, right? Like a lot of organizations don't allow their employees to have TikTok on the company phones and that kind of stuff. But again, we're talking from a marketing perspective. If you're trying to reach that audience and that audience is on that platform, it's something you need to consider for sure.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate reality.
So guys, unless you have anything else to add, then I think this is probably a really great place to wrap up. Thank you, Ken, Paul, and Jeff in absentia for sharing your thoughts. Thank you to our listeners for joining in and for some of the comments you've been sharing. Please share this podcast with your colleagues, your friends, your family, your mom, your dog, your cat, so that we can, be linked to some cat videos. But really just small business owners is actually who need this the most. Please rate this podcast on your favorite podcast app. And until next week, keep calm and market on, folks. Bye for now.